Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Rolling Hot 5. I'm Rachel Schlarb alongside
Bree Rhodes.
And we are so excited. We have been getting tons of new music in, and we are so excited to share it with you.
We really
are.
are.
Yeah, we really are. So coming up first, we have Jon Patrick Walker. And something about this album is, I know I always talk about the cover art, and some people don't exactly like the cover art, but something that I really enjoy is that it's different compared to a lot of the others. So if you really look at the album art, it's just two men sitting there, and it's really what you would expect. It's not the whole I'm really tough type music, but it's more of a very this is me type of music.
It really is. I kind of like the style of it. It's very simple, but it's not trying too hard. So it really kind of draws you in. I know we talked about this a little bit last week.
Yeah.
But it's one of those ones where it just doesn't work too hard, and I really appreciate that. Plus, they have pretty good sounding music. So
I really enjoy them, and with the name Jon Patrick Walker, you kind of want to know what he sounds like.
It either makes me think of Walker, Texas Ranger, or the Fast and Furious movies. That's what it brings to mind. But coming up next, we have Good Latimer, and they're an interesting group, a little different. They have a very kind of indie sound to them. Not necessarily my favorite genre of music, but they do make up for, I think, with their good sound, music quality, which is I'm always a sucker for. If you have good music, I will listen to you, even if I'm not like the biggest fan. Like, you know, like for example, I don't necessarily like rap music, very like heavy rap or whatever, and I might not like the lyrics of it, but if it's good, I'll listen to it. That's kind of how I get with them. It's like might not necessarily kind of like the indie's not necessarily my favorite genre, but I think that their music's pretty good.
Something that I really enjoy about them is that, like we saw Jon Patrick Walker, they do not try very hard with their music, but it's good sounding music just overall, and it's not something that really just sticks out to you. It's something that you're just like, oh wow, this is nice.
It really is. It really kind of leaves you with something.
Yeah, it really does. And then we have Silverplanes, and this album is newly screened. I screened it myself, and something about them, I want to say when I first put it in, it sounded like a country type band, but in a way it has this more of a jazzy feel. And I don't know how else to explain it besides it's not that really old jazz or the newer jazz we've been getting in recently. It's almost a simple combination between country and jazz with a little bit of rock. And I know that may sound kind of weird, but it really works. At least I think it does.
It does. I actually came across, came up to her when she was screening it, and it was really nice sounding music. Like, I'm really looking forward to playing them on my show.
I really like them, and my favorite song is Come Back. It's the first song on the album, so I'm really excited to see what our DJs think about them.
I am too.
And I know this is mine and Bree's favorite coming up next.
It is Little Feather, and I really like Little Feather because I really like, it's kind of like what Rachel said, I really like the album art. So when I saw it, I was like, ooh, this is well put together. It's in kind of a flimsy case, but you know, whatevs. So then I played it. I just played the first one because usually the first one's the good one. Is usually how these work. And I was I was thoroughly surprised. It was really good. I think it was Hillbilly Love Song. And I don't know, their music is so good. Just the way that they sing and like their tone, it's just, it kind of reminds me of almost the old country in a way, but like mixed with that new country, you know?
I completely 100% know what you mean. I screened the album, and I'm not a huge country fan. Anybody you talk to will know that I am not a country lover, but when I put them in, I was like, wow, this is really good sounding country. And I don't say that very often. So
She doesn't.
I don't. I really don't. But I was like, wow, Little Feather. I'm like, wow, that's really nice.
I'm really interested to see what our country DJs are going to say, because we also have a lot of DJs that are like Rachel who don't necessarily like country, but if it's good, they'll play it. Kind of like a Drew Baldridge situation.
Yeah, but I really enjoy them. But last but not least, this is Pietrangelo, and that is a huge last name to say. But he is also that type of country-ish jazz vibe, but mostly I would say he's more on the country side. But something I really like about him, he doesn't have a really deep voice that you would think with Royce Johns or other country artists like Drew Baldridge, what Bree said, but it's more of the really sweet, slow-going country. And I don't know how else to describe it except it's something that you can listen to in the background. And I overall really enjoy the album. I like the album art. If you couldn't tell, he's just sitting there, just kind of chilling out. And I don't know, I like it when people have simple album arts, just all together.
It's really nice. I really like the description you gave, country jazz. That's something that's a little, I don't know, like, 'cause it's like, since I never really, like, we talked about how I don't necessarily like jazz, but if it's good, I'll listen to it. And that's kind of where we get with him, is that, like Rachel said, he's very kind of simple, but it's good. Like, you know,
I do, I like him a lot.
And honestly, I feel like you don't necessarily need to be super flashy for people to like your music. You don't have to like fireworks, the whole shebang. It's like, you know, if you have something that's good, but really just, you know, just there, people will listen and people will like it. So I feel like that's kind of where he's at.
And I can completely agree with that. I think our DJs are really going to like him, and I'm really excited to get feedback on it. But that is all the time we have for this episode of the Rolling Hot 5. Make sure to tune into us on WMCO 90.7 every Tuesday and Fridays at 9 and 2.
You can also check us out on orbitmediaonline.com under the WMCO Music tab.
And you can check us out on Twitter, Orbit907Music. We would love for you to tweet at us and see what you think of our music here on WMCO. So thanks for tuning in, everyone. I'm Rachel Schlarb.
And I'm Bree Rhodes.